I realised recently that I don't play video games quite like other people do. Some of my favourite video games of all time are famously slower paced story experiences that forces you to slow down to a certain point. Red Dead Redemption 2 was quite a wake up call for the average Rockstar gamer, who wants to drive around at 1,000 miles per hour constantly on a flying bike equipped with missiles and do contract missions for Dr. Dre. That logo holds quite a bit of reverence in the gaming space. Anytime it comes up before you jump into a game, you know you're in for another banger from Rockstar, with their literal diamond shiny track record of bangers. But there are still people to this day who refuse to play Red Dead 2 because the first 2 hours are slow. I don't want to walk around in the snow. Which still baffles me and other enlightened folks who realise what social media has been doing to our attention spans. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a contender for my favourite game of all time. And genuinely one of my favourite things about the game is the pace at which you play, explore, fight, and experience the story. I'm perfectly at peace with having Arthur Morgan perch atop a ridge somewhere, or sit by a campfire and just watch the world go by. I think more gamers should try this. Test your boredom, and just stand still for 5 minutes and let the game world play out in front of you. Obviously, not every game is a perfect fit for this, but story-driven, open-world titles are the perfect baseline for fixing your attention span and appreciating the finer details. But the thing that's different about video game worlds compared to the one we inhabit is that everything in Red Dead 2, for example, is handcrafted, placed with intention and programmed to function seamlessly around you. A literal, living and breathing world that goes on whether you interact with it or not. NPCs go to work, animals travel across the plains, the sun rises and sets. You are just another person in the world. Obviously, slowing down and taking in your environment is clearly good for you in the real world too. But video games as entertainment slot themselves into the part of our brain that TikTok and Cocomelon also has its claws in. It's gratification and dopamine hits. Most video games are designed with a rule that a player shouldn't walk or play for more than, say, 30 or 60 seconds without something of note happening, or an activity popping up for the player to get distracted by. And games that challenge this design are definitely controversial, like Death Stranding for example, still seen as a walking simulator with long stretches of nothing going on and no keys jangling in your face to keep your attention fixed. I've recently been playing Cyberpunk 2077, fantastic game by the way, with one of the most incredibly crafted open worlds that I've ever laid eyes on. Still now, with over 80 hours in the game, I still occasionally sit back in my chair and I'm just like, I can't believe this is a real video game sometimes. Night City really just has that much sauce. There was a moment in my playthrough where I was going through Panam's questline that still sticks with me. It was in the mission where you wait out the sandstorm after saving Saul. I remember so vividly opening the door to the porch and being struck with that blinding morning sun. God, it was really like you could feel the heat of the sun on your face. Like when you wake up at the crack of dawn when the birds are just waking up and the cool air mixed with the warmth as the sun hits you and shakes you awake. So you go through the little dialogue sections, Panam rides away into the desert and leaves you with a bike.
Circumstances were different, I'd say saddle up and ride after her. But here and now, just look.
After this, I just stood there for a minute or so and took in how gorgeous the morning sun was hitting the scorching desert. That's where I got this photo mode shot of V looking to the horizon. An absolutely beautiful moment that just came from the artificial sun shine on my character's face in a video game. There are so many moments like this in Cyberpunk. Smoking a cigarette in the rain on Judy's balcony, or later in that same questline when you sit with Judy on the rooftop after a certain character dies that I won't spoil, or looking over Dogtown with President Myers. I could just sit here for hours and listen to the rain. Speaking of listening to the rain in video games, I always find myself sitting and listening to the rain when I play, just like I do in real life, and a rainy level in a game has me hooked no matter what's going on. The Last of Us Part 2's rainy Seattle still has a chokehold on me 5 years later. Aside from Red Dead 2 or Death Stranding, I think The Last of Us 2 is the game that I've just stood around in the most. I can't get enough of the world. Sat by the window in the theatre, stood on the stadium balcony, overlooking the town with Dina, or watching the sunset at the farm. There's something so addictive and seductive about such a miserable world, with these rare pockets of colour and peace. And I feel the same way about a lot of post-apocalyptic fiction. The Walking Dead is a comfort show for me. The world of The Last of Us is comforting. Fallout, Death Stranding, Telltale's The Walking Dead. The apocalypse is so cozy. I yearn for the end of the world. Not really, but also, yeah, really. This is what an introvert's dream looks like. Anyway, where were we? Oh right, attention spans. Well, if you take anything away from my little ritual of standing still in video games, why don't you try it yourself sometime? If you have a favourite game, find a good spot and just take in your surroundings. Look out at the horizon and look down at your feet. Look at what's in front of you and what's out of reach. Listen to the soundscape and let the world go on around you. And thank you very much for watching, standing, and listening.